Tariff talk triggers a crypto correction using Bitcoin dominance, TOTAL3, and Usdt.D dominance to gain some insight. Hey guys, it's Keith Allen. Wild frickin' weekend to say the least. Hope you fared okay. There were some phenomenal opportunities if you had the courage to take advantage of them, and lots and lots of people were shaken out. What a turn of events here. Okay, so let's just dive right into this. Of course, live chat is open. I already see a couple of you guys are already here. Alex, good to have you, man. Appreciate your constant or your continued support, I should say. So appreciate that, man. Yeah, and I think this is a perfect way to start it. What a day. What a weekend, right? What actually happened here? In case you, well, hopefully you were smart enough to just back away from charts for the weekend. You know, Friday, we saw this announcement come across. It was after TradFi closed, I believe, or if not very close to the TradFi close. It was late Friday afternoon. The announcement that Trump was going to impose tariffs, 25% on Canada, 25% on Mexico, and 10% on China. And obviously, the market does not like that. And through the course of the weekend, we hear some rumblings that there's going to be some retaliatory tariffs, and that was just really going to make things even that much worse, right? And so I guess we've heard all along that Trump had, planned to use tariffs as a negotiating tactic, but he clearly came out of the gates playing hardball, right? Ready to move fast, using maybe a note out of a page out of Elon Musk's playbook, move fast and break shit. And well, some shit got broke over the weekend. I mean, just the erosion of a price, not just with Bitcoin, but all seriously tanked big time over the weekend. And then we see a recovery happening. So the first thing and the recovery that's happening, by the way, is because, well, not just that we hit some perfect technical levels, and I'm going to show those to you here in this analysis, but we've also got now Mexico has already the Mexican president has already had a press conference announcing that she has arrived in an agreement with Trump to pause tariffs, and the short version of that is they're going to put thousands of Mexican troops at the border to specifically target fentanyl coming across the border. So that's a positive, and obviously there's a call this afternoon for with the Canadian counterparts, and that relationship obviously a little bit more contentious because of the things that Trump has been saying over the past few months, like he wanted to buy Canada, he wanted to make Canada the 51st state, etc., all that kind of noise. But hopefully they're going to come to an agreement to at least pause this escalation of a potential trade war, and then we'll deal with China. But it seems like this is all part of negotiation at the moment, and hopefully that will continue to move in the favor of the U.S. and of the markets. So I have to be transparent with you guys, because I always want to be transparent with you guys and let you know, yes, I talk a good game, but I make mistakes too, and I told you guys on Friday that there was going to be volatility over the weekend. I told you that, and that was my chair just like dropping on me, by the way, in case you're wondering what that was about. So I knew there was going to be whale play. I knew there was going to be volatility around that, and it obviously played out. I even suggested you just back away from screens. And that there was, if you're a trader, there's opportunities. If you're an investor, then maybe you just want to back away from screens. Well, the opportunities were very plentiful for traders. I mean, we saw some grinding of alts over the weekend, and we saw Bitcoin go right to a prior level that we have retested support at least 10 or 11 times. Maybe this is the 11th or 12th time, down at that 91.5K range, and now a recovery. Well, I did heed my notes on Saturday, and I went fishing, had a good day out on the water with my brother, spent a little time just like hanging out and clearing the head and enjoying some good quality time out in nature with someone I love, which was great. But I came back and saw what was happening in the charts, and it was not pretty. And normally, I would heed everything that I had said in terms of, not panic selling. But I'm at a point in my life, just happens to be at an inflection point where um, uh, my wife and I are on the verge of making a large purchase, and we're going to pull some money out of the trading account to apply towards what we're getting, and it's not really a. I'm going to tell you, it's not a splurge. It's not it's something we got to do. So you got to do what you got to do. Timing is not the best for us. I would much rather wait for uh, the cycle top of the market and then pull cash, but you don't always get to control all of the elements in your destiny. So we're gonna do what we got to do. So long story short, I sold some of my position, the upper entries that were above 98K. I sold, and I sold those at a loss. Really bummed me out. And of course, I did buy back in after the recovery, but I was not staring at screens when things bottomed out, so I could have gotten it a couple points better. Instead of getting it at 91.5, I got back in the 93s. Still, not the end of the world, and quite frankly, a probably a safer move, to wait and see that we had some recovery happening, and so that's where I'm at. Is what it is. But just wanted to be transparent with you guys and let you know that I often, I'm just like you guys, and I make mistakes too. Probably the most frustrating part is that I had this rule in place, not to I had my orders, I had my stop losses, and I've always said, don't mess with your settings unless you see something fundamentally changing that's going to change the market. And I perceived this potential trade war escalating as a fundamental change in the market. And because I need the capital sooner than later, like this week, then I did what I did. So that's where we're at in terms of that. Now, I want to show you what this looks like in terms of charts. And in this process, I put together a chart that I think was really cool. I got a pretty good response to it. And so I'm going to share that with you, basically showing the dynamics between Bitcoin price, um, Btc.D, which is Bitcoin dominance, TOTAL3, which is total market cap of all cryptos, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, so alts, and USDT dominance. So let's start by moving to the candle chart that shows really yesterday's, the long and short of what we saw here yesterday. Well, I guess over the weekend, I should say, in terms of this support test. And I did again warn you guys that we had a support test coming. It looked like that was going to develop through the weekend. So hopefully you heeded that warning. Let's go ahead and share. And again, live chat is open if you want to join me. Love to have you. Always enjoy engaging with you guys. Let's go ahead and share the screen here. And we're going to start on the candle chart as I had mentioned, and you can see. I mean, we went. If you're one of those people, and actually, if you're one of those people that don't believe in technical analysis, you're probably not following my analysis because I do a lot of TA in here. But look at this. I mean, we went boom, smack, right to the line, and we've had now. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12 support tests in this range. 91.5. We did have a flush in the middle of January, a little bit deeper down to the 89K level. But this is pretty solid here, at least for the moment, right? And I really expected to see things break down even further, maybe even to this 86 range. And if this was the big correction developing, potentially even down here towards the 200-day moving average, or really what I'm thinking in terms of that deep correction is is all the way down here to the trend line and the 50-week moving average. Now look at this. Look at the moment right now where we have the 21-week moving average pulling right in, sliding right into place here at the lower end of this consolidation range. And it doesn't look like much here on the weekly time frame, but on the daily, you can see we did actually have some time in this space, which is where this came from. It's kind of where this leg, where we dug out of this from this rocket launch out of election day, right? So a little bit of consolidation here. Here's the top of that, which is now our RS flip level. We've invalidated the RS flips at 100K now twice, right? We shot through it. We came back up, reclaimed it briefly, and then broke back down. And so this is comforting for the moment, I guess, but we're not sure this is all done yet, right? So the whole tariff situation still is a fluid moving target in progress. Like I said, going to be a conversation today, I understand, between Trump and Trudeau. That relationship is contentious at best, but neither guy wants to see their economy tank on tariffs. So there's that. Now I want to show you what we have seen in this. I told you about this dynamic chart I put together with Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance and TOTAL3. So this is pretty cool, I think. At least I think it's cool. I'd love to hear your comments on what you think here. So let me start here by, I'm going to hide some things here just so we can introduce them one by one, and you get a baseline of this chart here. The candles are Bitcoin dominance. All right. And we've edged along this trend line for quite some time. We broke out here over the weekend, huge wick up to the, above 64%, and now pulling back. Going to be interesting to see if Bitcoin dominance slides back below this level. And I think it might. I think it may do that at some point in time here, depending on what happens with this Trudeau conversation. But this is clearly feeling like a risk off time because we saw alts get hammered. And yesterday at one point, the green line here is USDT dominance, and it's been kind of stuck at a threshold here for quite some time, around 4.3% or so. And yesterday, this green line, last night was up here, above 4.5%, and that's the first time we'd seen that in a long time. Now, I've also brought into the mix here our Bitcoin price, which, as you can see, has degraded as USDT dominance has moved up, and now it's starting to recover a little bit. And the third one here is TOTAL3. TOTAL3 is all alts excluding, so it's pretty much total market cap of the crypto market cap, total cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So it's all alts, exception, with the exception of ETH. So at yesterday, when all of this was breaking down, alts were TOTAL3 was dumping hard down into this range, and USDT was spiking in terms of dominance, right? So that was telling us, that was the indication. You want to know when that alt season is coming. This is a great chart for you to put together to do that. And just as I showed you here, it's very easy. You start with one. In my case, I started with Bitcoin dominance, Btc.D, and then I added to the chart. I added the Bitcoin price. I added the USDT, and I added TOTAL3. And the reason that you want this TOTAL3 is because it's going to help you determine when, if and when we're getting an alt season. Right now, if we had seen when USDT was spiking, okay, this was an indication that money was rotating out of Bitcoin and out of alts. But as things started to stabilize and Bitcoin started to hold, we weren't seeing a lot rotate into alts at that point. So at this point, we're going to watch to see if this Bitcoin dominance, which is the candle chart here, if Bitcoin dominance slides back below this trend line, and if total 3 can bounce from here and start to spike, that would be an indication that alts are going to rally. And meanwhile, if that happens, right, what happens with USDT dominance, right? If USDT dominance starts to recede, money risk on, money is flowing back into Bitcoin and into alts, and we'll know what that dynamic is depending on which one is spiking. And likewise, if we see USDT dominance begin to spike, then we're going to watch to see what's receding the most. Typically, it's alts, but at some point, when we, if and when we get a real alt season, we're going to see the total 3 start to dominate the situation here. So I just think this is a really cool at a glance way to get a feel for where the money is flowing, right? Is it flowing into USDT as a safe haven? Is it flowing into Bitcoin? Is it flowing into alts? Very, very simple. All you got to do is add each one to your chart and track them from there. So I'm saving this chart, and that's something that we'll be able to look at over time. We should take a quick look at a couple of things that I think you might think are interesting. We do have a new CME gap. I'm not really a gap trader. I know a lot of people are. We now have a gap back up, which is interesting. Gaps don't have to get filled, but they tend to like to. But we also have this big fat gap down here that goes all the way down to the 77.9 range. We'll call it 78. But for that to come into play, we would be looking at this deep correction that could potentially take us all the way down towards this trend line, which would, of course, fill that gap. So those are just a couple of things to keep in mind. We do have on the monthly chart, and it's worth noting here, right? There's a new trend precognition signal, but the best of these signals are at their best when they start right at candle open. This did not appear right at the candle open. So what that means, among other things, these signals, TradingView imposes a 1-day candle lag. A 1 candle lag. So on a monthly chart, that means this is a tentative signal until this monthly candle closes. When I noticed it this morning, it had over a 56% probability score. At the moment, it's now down to 51. So it is eroding a little bit. Let me just look really quick because I was looking at it on a different chart, and I want to make sure that it is that's the same. Hold on a second. All I have to do is find that chart. BTC strategy, trend precognition. I was over here on Solana's another one. I picked up some Solana on that dip, and I got stopped out on it on this wick down below. So that pissed me off a little bit, but hey, is what it is. Let's see if it makes it back over this these key moving averages here on the daily. This is where I was looking at the percentage on the probability score, and I just want to make sure that it's the same here on the on this lifetime on this index chart. It is 51.34%. So not much change there between exchanges. Still a very strong signal, which would indicate that price is not likely to go back to the all-time high here. Not likely to make a new all-time high here this month. Of course, if we go back to all-time high territory, that would invalidate the signal. So things to keep in mind. Now let's take a peek at the let's see, fear and greed up. Fear is up. We're now down to 44%. Haven't been there for a little while. And I want to give you a view of the order book here using fire charts. And you can see We've had liquidity moving around here. I need a refresh. Had this stuff open for a little while. We've got liquidity moving around here, and when this disappeared this morning, I was concerned we were going to see a breakdown, and price started to go in that direction, but we also had something open up top, which made way for this move up here, right? So at the moment, we have some resistance overhead at 99, pretty much right at the 100K mark. Another block of 28 million at 102K, and then things start to get heavier as we move into that 105, 106K range. And then, of course, the biggest part up at 110 million. We have, excuse me, up at 110,000. We have 88 million in asks stacked right on that, right at that level at this point. So, couple of things for you to look at and be mindful of. I do think that this was a warning shot, right? It was a 16% correction. That doesn't, for me, anyways, as a technician, does not satisfy my desire to see that 20 to 50% correction. And I think that move down to the trend line would do that. I'll be honest, I anticipated us going there this morning if this tariff business continued to, or accelerated into a full-fledged trade war. And so I protected myself from that. So I'm not going to beat myself up over the decision that I made to sell that little bit. It was not a large portion of my portfolio. It was really only my entries above 98K. So I will look for those opportunities to buy back in, and I'm going to pull that little bit of cash I needed to pull to take care of some family business here. And with that, guys, I'm going to wrap it. It's a busy day for me, and I'm going to be looking for opportunities to see if I can sink some of my liquidity into something that's going to move up and earn me some bucks here. Hope that helps you out, guys. Again, I appreciate the ongoing support. If you like the streams, do me a favor, make sure you smash each and every one of the buttons, share a comment. I love engaging with you guys. And most importantly, make sure you hit that subscribe button up there in the corner, little bell, so that you don't miss any of the future streams. Gonna wrap it right there, guys. Hope this is giving you some insight and helping you out. And I do hope that you will create your own chart, your own version of my dominance chart that helps you track some of these things. If you found that helpful or you found that interesting, drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. All right, guys, let's make it a great week and make some money.